Welcome back to Vic's Projects, everyone. I hope you're well. So normally when I do these episodes, I've got my storyboard, we sort of know what we're going to do, we've got an objective for the video. And today, honestly just don't have a clue. That's as far as I got with the plan. So let's stick to the plan. You're going to come along, we're just going to play in the engine bay, do some stuff, and I don't know, just run the thing. Let's get on with it. Okay, so where are we? Well, if you saw the last episode, the engine builders are cracking on with tearing down the engine and getting it all sorted, which means I need to get my arse in gear basically and get this all done. So clearly we've stripped back the engine bay, given it a coat of high build primer to get it looking roughly nice. We'll do a few things along the way as we go. Marked out where everything lives, which leaves us with some random holes which honestly drive me potty. So this is clearly where people have been here before, drilled a hole, put a self-tapping screw in, and it just looks terrible. So I'm going to go around and start welding all of these up so it's nice and clean here in the engine bay, because now's the time to do it. Now I'm only going to do the ones that I can get to the other side of the metal so I can make sure I can treat both sides. Things like here in the chassis rail, we're going to have to come up with something else because I don't want exposed metal in that chassis rail so it can just rust out from the inside out. Well, angle grinder time and then welder time. Oh, and fingers crossed I've got my calculations right and I don't need these because that would be embarrassing. Now that we've filled some holes, it's time to look at, well, some holes. Specifically for the fuel filter and the washer. That's not the washer. What is that? That's the brake reservoir, sorry. What? Why did I washer there? The brake fluid reservoir lives there, not the washer bottle. Anyway, we've got some brackets that live there. Normally they're held on by a manky old nut and a bolt, and they get pretty chewed up over life. So the issue is when you need to take these off, you've got to get on the wheel well and the engine bay in order to do it, and it's a real pain in the bum. So to help out the next guy that goes there, which is probably going to be me, I'm going to weld on some captive nuts. So this is pretty simple. We just grind off the plating, because you can't stick the plating, put a nut through there, bolt through there, nut on the other side, stick it on, away you go. Let's get into it. Now it looks like back in the day Jaguar used probably lead to make this unsightly mess here and join these panels together. Now I'm kind of torn. As you can see by the pen marks, I was originally planning to flat all that back and make it look nice. I'm not too worried about 100% originality with this car. It's just never was going to be that. I didn't get the car like that, so I don't mind a few modifications. What I do want though is it to look sort of in period, and I don't know, this one's got me torn. Does it look more in period having that, or is it a bit too over restored if I try and make that look nice? I don't know. We'll have to see. Move around the engine bay, our good old friend Rust has made an appearance. It was going to come in somewhere, wasn't it? So this little hole, it's only small. I don't really want to take out all the clocks and the whole dash behind this bit. So rather than try and bend up a piece of metal and weld it in, I'm just going to use some fiberglass filler and it'll be fine. We've got a couple more unsightlies on the front there, which is where someone's drilled holes and put self-tappers again. Luckily on the other side, I've had a look around. I think we're safe to weld those up, but always good to be on guard, especially when we've got the interior on the other side. So I'll be paying close attention there. Right, more rubbish to sort out. So while we wait for that filler to dry, I'm going to remove this little bracket right here. And why? Well, you'll have to wait for another episode to find out. Okay, I've been ignoring this hole for long enough now. I'm gonna have to do something about it. From when I bought the car, there was a load of fiberglass filler, just like bleh, sticking out of here. Proper bodge job, but now we're gonna do it properly. Ugh, what does properly mean? It means putting in some metal. It probably means folding this back so that I can get it all in. I don't know how well it's going to come out. I don't know if I'm going to do a horrible job, but we best get into it and find out. Yeah, pretty impressed with that. Even for a complete idiot, I've managed to get it looking that good. So I'm very happy. Well, now we're on to the next job because we've got a couple more before we go straight into dress up and paint. And that is these little things here. So these are here to hold in the wiring loom. Now I'm in two minds because a couple of these are either broken off or they are literally two bends away from snapping off. So I either reinstate these, sort of break off the ones that are just about to break, repair the ones that have already broken, and use as the factory has, or I could go for P-clips that look a bit like this, or I could get really fancy and go for P-clips made of billet, which look like this. Yeah, I don't think the billet ones, but maybe the first ones. I don't know. So what I'm going to do first is drape the loom all the way around the engine bay and see what we got to work with. Having looked this over, pretty much all of these little tabs are just ruined. After so many years of service, it's not surprised you're going to get metal fatigue and it's just going to snap off. So I think I'm going to go for P-clips in the end. Now there's a couple which I'm going to keep. So one here, there's a couple behind me here that you basically just never see because they're covered up. So I'm going to leave them as is, and they all look in good shape, those ones anyway. So P-clips it is. Given I've just spent all this time just welding up little random holes with self-tapping screws, we're not going to do that, clearly. So what I'm going to do is mark it all out, and then I'm going to go behind and mount some captive nuts for those P-clips to screw in properly to. Just so, you know, proper job. With the loom all mocked in, she's looking good. We've got a few stump bolts in to replace with some nice shiny ones when we get around to it. Our next job is one that I've been putting off, which is dressing the engine bay ready for paint. So now we've done all the major works, it's time to just get the sander out, get the filler out, make a load of mess. Oh, it's not a nice job, but prep for paint is really well worth it. So, time to get on with it. So, we'll start with the fiberglass filler to fill those holes in the chassis rail, and for all the other imperfections in the bodywork, it's just the standard bog, and there are quite a few imperfections, so we'll need some more, and then sanding, obviously, and more sanding. High build primer is up next, which will then need some more sanding, and then we mask up, and first coat of paint. What? Wait a minute, what about the seam sealer? Ah, there it is. You got a bit excited, Vic, didn't you? Yeah. And now we finish off the paint. And after a final cut and a polish, here we are. And it looks probably a 6 out of 10, if I'm honest. There's that old adage, if you want something done properly, then pay a professional to do it. But it's only the engine bay. For a rattle can finish, it doesn't look too bad, really. And yeah, good enough. So, I think we accomplished what we were supposed to do at the beginning of this video, which was get some work done. We've got a load more work to go, obviously, but this is now the fun bit. We start putting things back into this engine bay. So, in the next episode, we're going to crack on with all of that. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Vic's Projects. So yeah, we're keeping the car blue. Sorry about the clickbait thumbnail. I was just playing about on Photoshop and, well, the bronze looks pretty cool, doesn't it? But no, we're going to stay as we are, because you know I tell you if I was going to do something crazy, right?